But once my water broke, things just went from 0 to 100 in no time. I went from basically like no pain, pain-free, to these contractions are back to back and I cannot talk, and please don't talk to me or ask me any questions because I don't want to answer you. I did my best to just breathe through them and follow my hypnotherapy, relaxation and visualization guidelines and everything. I asked them to get the tub started, and the kind of tub that they have is a type you have to walk into. So you walk into it, shut the door, and then the tub fills. The tub can't fill beforehand, so you have to kind of sit there and wait for this tub to fill. Which, it wasn't too bad because I had like a hose, like a shower head, that I could just move around and put it wherever I wanted. So like I could put it down my back or on my belly, whatever, waiting for this tub to fill. And I do definitely feel like it helped me relax and kind of ease the pain. I mean, I definitely still felt the contractions, but it was nothing that I couldn't not handle. By the time the tub was filled high enough, I got down on the floor of the tub and bent over the seat part. I put a pillow down and I bent over that, and I was just kind of letting my belly hang in the water to kind of relieve that gravity. And I mean, this was in a span of 10 to 15 minutes, mind you. At that point, when I was bent over, my contractions were piled on top of each other. So there was a peak, and then it would start to go down, but then it would start going right back up. So there was like no break in between the contractions at all. And after a few of those, I asked my husband to go get my midwife because she was in the other room. And I told her, I'm like, you know, these contractions are not stopping and my body is pushing this baby out. I wasn't physically like actively pushing, but my body was just pushing the baby out. It's a natural reaction, and that's kind of what I planned on doing. I planned on just breathing and letting my body do the pushing for me, and that's what was happening. I was like, I'm not gonna last much longer. I was like, I think I need to get out of here. She's like, okay. Well, we have to wait for the tub to drain before you can get out. And I just kind of looked at her and I was like, I did not even think about that. Because you can't open the door while the tub is full because the water is just going to gush everywhere. I'm like, okay. So I'm standing here naked and cold and going through these non-stop contractions, and at this point I am in pain. I am like, just get me out of this effing tub. I do not want to be standing here anymore. And like, part of me really thought that the baby was just going to come while I'm standing there and there's nothing I could do about it. And she was kind of prepared, waiting to see what was happening in case we needed to just catch the baby. But thankfully, I was able to get out of the tub. I walked into the other room and laid down on the bed, and I just kind of laid back and my legs were just open. And she looked and she's like, oh yeah, there's the baby. I see a bunch of hair. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Because part of me really didn't expect that. I expected, you know, she'd still be up there a little bit, but she was actually there. Like, she was crowning, basically. And so everyone hurried up and got on gloves. Well, it was just my midwife and nurse and my husband. And they all got on gloves. And she looked at my husband and she was like, well, would you like to do it? And he was like, well, I kind of caught my last daughter. And she was like, well, if you would like to just do it, you're more than welcome. I'll just walk you through it. And I kind of looked at him, and at this point, like, I didn't care. I just wanted to finish this because I was in pain. And they both kind of sat down, and I kind of heard what was going on, but I was really in my own head a lot of the for most of it. I mean, like, I was there that long. This was not a very long period of time that we're talking here. So I can hear her explaining to my husband like what he needed to do, where he needed to put his hands, and all of this. And Grace's face, she was faced the wrong way. She was facing my bottom, and I'm sure my husband could explain this all better than I could because he was more present in the moment. But he had to like do something to help her tuck her chin to come out, and I don't know. I was just, you know, I was birthing a baby. I wasn't listening to the conversation intensely. So after a few minutes, baby just came on out. There was really not much else to it. Like, my body pushed her out. I assisted a little bit once I got to the bed, but I wasn't like ferociously pushing. She came out, he grabbed her, he laid her up on my chest. You know, they let the cord go until it was finished pulsating, and he clamped it and cut the cord. And yeah, she was just there. So it was a crazy kind of whirlwind experience, because from the time my water broke to the time she was there was no time at all. And when you go from no pain to, I mean, okay, I'm gonna compare it to like getting shot or stabbed, because you're standing there, you're fine 1 minute, and the next minute there's just all this intense pain rushing over you. And that's kind of how it happened for me. And with how fast everything just progressed, it was kind of surreal. But definitely an amazing experience, and I wouldn't change anything about it. So I was extremely happy with the birth. I tried to nurse her almost immediately, and she wasn't really having that. But we just spent like skin to skin time. They would clean her up a little bit while she was laying with me and all those things. But yeah, they just let me lay there with her for quite a while before they took her away to weigh her and measure her and do all their checkups. So, but yeah, that was my crazy birth. For the first time in 3 births, I did not tear. I could not believe it. I have always torn toward my first, toward my second, and I was pretty much sure I was going to tear at this one. Did not tear. I really feel like that hydrotherapy tub, using that, helped out tremendously. My hypnobirthing was a tremendous help. Sorry, I had to stop because my husband and toddler came home. Now I don't know what I was talking about. But yeah, that was the whole basic gist of my birth story. I was 100% happy with all of the decisions that I made. I am really glad that I decided to have her just break my water to get things moving, because I know I wouldn't have had the same experience with a random OB doctor that I did with my midwife. And I know my husband would never have been allowed to basically, do the whole delivery. Like, he literally, and I am so proud of him and happy that he got to share in the whole experience, because, usually it's just the woman going through it and the man. Usually, they're there as a support and all of that, but everything my midwife has ever done to involve him has always been amazing. But this last experience was just, I think, over the top for him. Like, he could not have asked for anything more. Like, he literally got to sit there and do everything. Well, obviously, besides I was doing the hard work, but from assisting her to get her head out, to guiding me and then guiding her body out, clipping, clamping and cutting the cord. It was just a wonderful experience for him. And since we are 95% sure we are done, I'm gonna get all emotional. This was just the best experience to finish on. So sorry. Hormones are still crazy. But yeah, so that is my birth story. I will tell you more about Grace. I'll do a video where I introduce her to everybody and talk about what's been going on since her birth. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye.